certainly not the excuse the police made up, is it? She had her own problems right then. But then again, Kelly did still get a hold of me, didn't she? She sent me a friend request when Natalie disappeared. She's one of many. But unlike those many, I recognized her. Absolutely. For somebody like me, getting to do fun shit when I was younger did not happen. So when we did that Chinese fire drill in Heather Fisher's duster, yeah, that was fun. That was happy and joyful. It wasn't racism. It wasn't bullying. It wasn't hatred. It wasn't ignorance. It wasn't pushing somebody away who was different. It's because of shit like that that Kim Jepsen was my best friend. It was because of shit like that that Brandon Jepsen became my best friend. So Kelli Wilmoth, what was her issue? Well, see, here's the thing. She kept on wanting to, just like everybody, oh, well, I know there's places out there that'll help. No, there aren't. See, that's the problem. There's places that are supposed to help, but without a friend or family member, they don't. They don't have to. You have to fucking record it when you go in. Now, Kelly, she was telling me I needed an advocate. All of this shit, see, here's the thing, is if you tell me something 10,000 times, but you never help to achieve it, and you never find out what it is that I've done already, we end up with me being abused by you over your selected ignorance. You chose to assume. Now, when you reach out to somebody, see, our messages between me and Kelly show that I didn't put myself, or didn't allow her on my friends list. I didn't accept her friend's request for a reason. Because I didn't want her to be targeted as so many other people were. Getting all those people sending me messages that people were threatening to kill them and threatening to kill their families. Did the Jepsons bother to look my name up and find out about the slander that I'm enduring, or why it is that I'm so pissed off at them? Brandon Jepsen, after not being my friend for years, his choice. He didn't want to be friends with somebody who didn't believe that cops should be allowed to be Nazis to anybody that they want, especially the homeless. Well, fuck you, Brandon Edward Jepsen. Not a chance in hell I'm falling for that. He came and talked to me once when he needed help moving his brother after his brother tried to fucking murder somebody. Tried to murder a pregnant woman, his own wife. Other than that, Brandon ignored me again until Natalie was killed. Then he wanted to pretend like he was going to be my friend again. But all he did was go out of his way to try to push me to commit suicide. He knew exactly what he was doing. A lot of people took advantage of me because they knew that they could. With Kelly telling me to do all the same stuff that everybody else was telling me to do. It's shit I was already doing. I had been trying to get a fucking advocate since before I ever went to Virginia. I was supposed to have one at 18 years of age. What the fuck happened there? Oh yeah, nobody gives a fuck about homeless people. I'm going to tell you about something that these people who later became my predators, I'm going to tell you how good they were to me. There were a lot of situations where individually each and every one of them did something that wasn't nice, wasn't right, and wasn't moral. However, when I ended up at Pine Ridge Job Corps Center, I was sentenced there, by the way, because I ran away from my mom's house. No, that's not what happened. My boss, a sex offender named Doug Cowden, stole a bunch of my fucking money. My mom went out to get it back. Unfortunately, Doug Cowden had spent part of that money, well, most of the money on tools. The $3,000 he spent on tools. The $1,100 he spent on a pound of marijuana that went to Dennis and Brenda Dickinson. Well, half of it went to Dennis and Brenda Dickinson, and the other half went to David Roop. And then, of course, there was the cocaine that he did with my mom, and they had sex, and then she come in, threw a tantrum. I told her how fucked up it was. She still had coke hanging out of her nose, and her fucking shirt was on crooked, and her hair was fucked up. Obviously, she didn't go out there to fucking help me. She kicked me out of the house, called the cops, told them I was a fucking runaway because I didn't want to wash the dishes. Cute, right? Anyway, I turned 18 while I was in Pine Ridge Job Corps Center. I got kicked out of Pine Ridge Job Corps Center. I was lucky enough to make it back to Chapel. And when I was in Chapel, I was lucky enough that Kimberly Joe Jepson and little Jason Jepson set up a little loft in their garage for me to stay in, for me to live in. That house was now owned by another guy I went to school with named Nick Van Winkle. When little Jason Jepson was staying in that house, and he was being a meth head and fucking trashed the place. Well, Terry and Ron and Kim all came down because they were going to sell it. They didn't have blankets, so I brought them blankets. I helped clean up the place. Even the vomit underneath Jason's bed. Jason was nasty. He was always nasty. But he also always had drugs. Just like Drake Chambers. You have any idea how many women told me how big Drake Chambers' penis is? Drake Chambers would give you meth, but there's expectations that go with it. Ask Jamie Curtis. Ask Caroline Coffey. Ask Jackie McKenzie. Holy shit. God bless America, right? Now, with Kelli wanting to tell me to do all these things that I'd already done, does it register to her how harmful that is? That instead of finding out what I've done, she's busy making assumptions about people gonna help me? No, Kelli. This isn't like being a pretty white girl like you. Things aren't as easy for me. When you say, oh, well, they're not easy for me too, that's just a cop-out, and don't do that. Because you're a woman, you're more likely to be heard. If you victimize a man, you're not likely to get in any trouble for it. And if you do, it might be a slap on the wrist. Because of help like yours, I had to do desperate things. Hundreds of people just like you, Kelli. I want to believe that you might be a good person, where the rest of your family showed me that they're not. They're nice people. As long as they get what they want.